Week 2 didn't disappoint. If we could slice up the Avera Game Ball in about 25 pieces and hand it out, we would, but we can't. So we'll get you up to speed on the top 10 performers that didn't get a game ball, and then at the end we'll reveal this week's Avera Game Ball winner. Let's start at the game that we had live with Stevens at the Rushmore Bowl. Their quarterback Colton Hartford was 25 of 39 through the air, 331 yards and 4 touchdowns. Huge performance. 3 of those touchdowns came to wide receiver Michael Norman. He had 7 catches and nearly 100 yards on the night. The Stevens passing attack was alive and well. Carter Hoffman of Dual had himself a day, rushed for 174 yards and caught 5 passes for another 110 yards. Of those 110 yards receiving, 85 of them came right here on this shovel pass, so he was very lethal in the running game. Tate Johnson established the run for Brandon Valley. He had 32 carries in their win over number 2 O'Gorman on Saturday night. He accounted for 3 touchdowns, 2 of them rushing, and he even caught one to boot. Nolan Kirsch of Kimball White Lake took it to Parkston. He was nearly perfect, going 12 of 15 for 269 yards through the air, and he scored 3 touchdowns. Jacoby Krause played a huge role in MCM's victory over Stanley County. Krause ran for 232 yards and 4 touchdowns, and on defense, he had 2 tackles for loss to add to it. Clayton Randall of Harriet Selby, he was all over the field for the Wolverines, 221 yards rushing with 2 TDs, and also picked up 2 picks on defense. He helped Harriet Selby stay unbeaten with a big win over Waverly South Shore. Remington Rossau of Chamberlain, he led his team past Miller. He only needed 10 carries to surpass the 200 total yard mark on the ground, and he cashed in 3 touchdowns as well. Garrett Stout, I have a feeling he's going to be on this list every single week. He was too much for West Central to handle. The Pierce senior threw for 277 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he almost ran for 100 yards as well. That is his 2nd week in a row with 5 touchdowns. Nick Whitler became the game ball winner last week with his 7 TD performance. He picked up right where he left off this week. 218 yards on the ground with 2 scores, and he threw for 3 more touchdowns. That brings us to this week's winner, and I don't think we've ever done this before, but we had back-to-back winners from the exact same school. Last week, it was Whitler from Sully Buttes. This week, we give it to Grant Johnson of Sully Buttes. Grant caught 10 balls on the night in Sully Buttes' win over their rival Potter County. Of those 10 balls, 7 were on offense and 3 were on defense. He took 1 back to the house that he took on defense and scored 2 more touchdowns on offensive catches. All in all, Grant dominated the game all over the field, and he is very deserving of the Week 2 Avera Game Ball.